In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on October 27, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. New Orleans Saints versus Los Angeles Chargers. The New Orleans Saints, currently struggling to find their footing, will travel to Los Angeles this Sunday for an inter-conference matchup against the Chargers. After a promising 2-0 start to the season, the Saints have now dropped 5 consecutive games, leaving them teetering on the edge of playoff elimination in the National Football Conference. Meanwhile, the Chargers, under new head coach Jim Harbaugh, have played inconsistently but hold a 3-3 record. They are looking to bounce back from a narrow Monday night loss to the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams enter the contest with something to prove as they fight to stay relevant in their respective playoff races. The Saints' performance has rapidly declined as the season approaches its midpoint, and their prospects for turning things around look increasingly grim. There is still uncertainty surrounding whether quarterback Derek Carr will play this week. His availability remains doubtful given that he did not practice last week and reportedly continues to experience pain when throwing. The Saints' offense has already suffered a major setback with the season-ending loss of wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, whose speed and ability to stretch the field opened up space for the team to operate in the middle. Without him, the Saints struggled mightily against Denver last week, averaging fewer than 6 yards per pass play. This trend is especially troubling given that the Chargers boast one of the top defenses in the NFL, ranking first in points allowed. It is likely that Los Angeles will capitalize on the Saints' offensive issues, especially with New Orleans unable to generate big plays downfield. Defensively, things look equally bleak for the Saints. They currently rank dead last in the NFL in total defense and sit 26th in scoring defense, a troubling sign heading into a game against a capable Chargers offense. Although Los Angeles struggled to finish drives against the Cardinals, moving the ball effectively between the 20-yard lines was not an issue. Against a Saints defense that allowed a whopping 33 points to a struggling Broncos offense, the Chargers should find more success. New Orleans has repeatedly failed to contain even below-average offenses, and with their defense continuing to underperform, Sunday could be an opportunity for the Chargers to break out. The Chargers, eager to redeem themselves following their loss to Arizona, return to SoFi Stadium in a favorable position. This game provides an opportunity for Los Angeles to not only secure a win but also cover the spread as home favorites. The Saints' struggles on offense, worsened by Carr's uncertain status, make them less of a threat, but it is their defensive woes that present the bigger problem. Quarterback Justin Herbert is well positioned to exploit New Orleans' weak pass defense, and running backs J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards should have plenty of success on the ground. Conversely, Saints backup quarterback Spencer Rattler, if called upon, will likely face significant challenges against Los Angeles' tough defense, which has excelled at forcing turnovers. Such mistakes could give the Chargers excellent field position, further tilting the game in their favor. So far this season, the Chargers are 1-0 against the spread when favored at home, while the Saints have struggled as underdogs, going 2-3 against the spread. With these trends in mind, the Los Angeles Chargers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Offensive struggles have plagued both teams throughout the season, and this trend is expected to continue in Sunday's matchup. New Orleans failed to move the ball effectively against Denver, and the challenge will only grow against one of the NFL's top defenses. Los Angeles has been consistently dominant on defense this season, limiting opponents and keeping games low scoring. Both teams are also missing key offensive playmakers, which will further hinder their ability to put points on the board. The Chargers' defense has been stellar, with the team hitting the under in 5 of their 6 games this year. Keep a close watch on Derek Carr's status leading up to game time, as his participation could slightly improve the Saints' offensive outlook. However, even with Carr in the lineup, New Orleans' offense remains depleted, while the Chargers' defense continues to rank among the league's best in points allowed. Despite their loss to the Cardinals, Los Angeles held Arizona's dynamic offense to just 17 points, demonstrating their ability to control the game's tempo. Given the matchup, the Chargers will likely prefer a slow-paced, defensive battle where they can control possession and minimize risks. Neither team commits many turnovers or penalties, which further supports the expectation of a low-scoring affair with limited short field opportunities. Ultimately, the Chargers are the stronger team in this situation and should be able to dictate the flow of the game. With their defense leading the way, a 21-10 victory for Los Angeles feels like a realistic outcome. Long, methodical drives will likely define the game, keeping the clock running and limiting the number of scoring chances for both sides. As a result, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Chicago Bears versus Washington Commanders. The Chicago Bears will face off against the Washington Commanders in an exciting National Football Conference showdown on Sunday afternoon. Chicago is coming off a victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 6, followed by a well-timed bye in Week 7 to rest and recover. Meanwhile, the Commanders secured a decisive home win against the Carolina Panthers in their most recent outing. These two teams met last season, with the Bears dominating that contest 40-20, and both sides will be looking to build on their recent momentum. The Bears and Commanders enter this National Football Conference clash trending in positive directions, with each team riding a streak of impressive performances. Chicago, fresh from an international win over the Jaguars in London, showcased the potential of rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, who threw 4 touchdown passes in that game. Washington has also been playing at a high level, most recently dismantling the Panthers 40-7, despite relying on backup quarterback Marcus Mariota for much of the game. The Commanders' star quarterback, Jaden Daniels, was forced to exit early with a rib injury, and his status remains uncertain, as he is listed day-to-day. If Daniels plays, it would create an intriguing matchup between the top 2 picks from the 2024 NFL Draft, though even if he sits out, Washington is still well-positioned to compete. Washington's offense has earned praise throughout the season, with much of the credit going to Daniels. However, it's worth noting that the Commanders were highly productive last season when Sam Howell was leading the offense. Mariota stepped in seamlessly last week, and the offense continued to click under head coach Cliff Kingsbury, who has successfully implemented a dynamic system that emphasizes both passing and rushing. While the Bears rank 5th in fewest passing yards allowed per attempt, Washington has enough firepower to keep the chains moving. The Commanders' defensive turnaround under coordinator Dan Quinn has been equally noteworthy, as they've held 3 of their last 4 opponents to 14 points or fewer. Although the Bears are riding a 3-game winning streak, their recent victories came against teams with a combined 5-15 record, raising concerns about the level of competition they've faced. Furthermore, while Williams has shown promise, there are still questions about his consistency as a passer. Given these factors, Washington looks like the safer bet, especially as an underdog at home. Regardless of who starts at quarterback for the Commanders, they have the depth to cover the spread, with Daniels' potential return being an added bonus. So the Washington Commanders to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. This matchup showcases 2 capable offenses facing defenses that have been solid but not dominant. The Commanders have been one of the highest scoring teams in the league, though they'll need to make adjustments if Daniels remains sidelined. Last week's performance was a promising sign, as Washington managed to score efficiently even without their star quarterback. At home, the Commanders have been averaging 32 points per game, a trend they will look to continue against Chicago. The Bears, on the other hand, started the season slowly on offense, but they've found their groove in recent weeks, scoring 32 points per game over their last 3 outings. With an extra week of rest following their bye, Chicago's offense should be in peak condition for this contest. Both teams have consistently hit the over this season, with the total going over in 8 combined games. Additionally, 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over the projected total, suggesting that another high-scoring game could be on the horizon. The Bears play at a fast tempo, ranking 5th in the league in offensive plays per game, and they have put up at least 34 points in each of their last 2 contests. Meanwhile, Washington's defense is still a work in progress, which gives Williams and the Bears an opportunity to keep their offensive momentum going. Washington's offense has been explosive, currently leading the NFL in total yardage per game. just ahead of the Detroit Lions with an average of 384 yards. The Commanders have scored 34 or more points in 4 of their last 5 matchups, including a 34-point showing against the Cleveland Browns. The over has hit in 4 of Washington's last 5 games, reinforcing the likelihood of another high-scoring affair. With both offenses in good form and the defenses struggling to impose their will consistently, this game sets up as a shootout, as both teams have the firepower to light up the scoreboard. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Carolina Panthers versus Denver Broncos. Week 8 of the 2024 NFL season has arrived, and we're diving into an exciting interconference matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Carolina Panthers. The showdown will take place at Empower Field at Mile High in Denver, Colorado, where these two teams will meet for the first time since 2022. In their last encounter, the Panthers secured a 23-10 victory over the Broncos, covering as 1-point underdogs on their home turf. Denver will look to even the score after that loss 2 years ago, and this time the odds are stacked differently. The Panthers have struggled mightily this season, and the Broncos entered this game as 10-point favorites, a significant spread that isn't always easy to cover. However, given Carolina's recent performances, it's hard to imagine any scenario where they pose a serious threat to Denver. The Panthers just suffered a humiliating 33-point defeat at the hands of the Washington Commanders, led by Marcus Mariota. With such a lackluster showing, it's nearly impossible to back a team that looks utterly lost on both sides of the ball. I expect Denver's defense to dominate this matchup, especially against a Carolina offense that has been ineffective and demoralized. Whether rookie quarterback Bryce Young or a backup takes the starting snaps for the Panthers, they will be facing significant pressure. Carolina's offensive weapons are limited, and Young has struggled with confidence behind a weak offensive line. Denver's defense should have no trouble exploiting these weaknesses, making it a long day for whoever lines up under center. The trends strongly favor the Broncos in this game. The Panthers are 1-8 against the spread in their last 9 games overall, and they've struggled to compete against American Football Conference opponents, going just 1-5 against the spread in their previous 6 matchups with teams from the opposite conference. On the other hand, Denver has been surging. The Broncos are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, and they've been especially sharp in Week 8 matchups, boasting a 6-0 against the spread record over the past 6 seasons in this spot. Moreover, Denver holds a 4-1 against the spread edge in its last 5 meetings with Carolina, giving them an extra psychological edge heading into this contest. The Broncos also enter Week 8 with momentum, having won 4 of their last 5 games. In their most recent outing, they racked up an impressive 33 points on the road against the New Orleans Saints. Notably, Denver has topped the 33-point mark in 2 of its last 3 contests, but the real story this season has been the team's defensive resurgence. Meanwhile, the Panthers have hit rock bottom, dropping 4 consecutive games and allowing at least 34 points in each of those defeats. Their inability to contain opponents has led to some lopsided results. Carolina has lost by 18 points or more in 3 straight games. Given their recent form, it's hard to envision the Panthers keeping this game close. As a result, the Denver Broncos to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Panthers will find it extremely difficult to clear the 10-point spread if the Broncos maintain their recent defensive form. With the way Denver's offense has been clicking lately and the Panthers' defense struggling to stop anyone, there's a realistic chance the Broncos replicate the offensive success they enjoyed in Week 7. Expect Denver to lean heavily on their rushing attack, which could spell trouble for Carolina's defense. The Panthers have allowed an NFL worst 162.1 rushing yards per game, meaning Denver's ground game is likely to thrive. With an early lead, the Broncos are expected to control the pace of the game, slow things down in the 4th quarter, and grind out the win. In recent weeks, Denver has played several low-scoring games. 4 of their last 6 contests have ended with fewer than 40 total points. While the Broncos' offense has shown flashes of potential, their real strength lies in their defense, especially in the red zone, where they have been the most effective in the league. One area where Denver has struggled, however, is on 3rd downs, as they've had trouble sustaining drives. Given these dynamics and Denver's strong pass rush, the Panthers will likely try to establish the run to avoid exposing their quarterbacks to pressure. Denver also demonstrated their ability to pound the ball on the ground in last week's victory. With Carolina's quarterback situation and one of the league's worst completion rates, the Panthers will likely opt for a run-heavy approach as well. This combination points toward a slow-paced, defensive game with limited scoring opportunities. For these reasons, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.